Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. What a beautiful and gorgeous day that it is. It's a really sweet summer day outside, and I can't wait to enjoy it right now. But I just woke up and I really wanted to share this video with you because I really wanted to get the ball rolling on just what Body by Alchemy is. Um, so basically, the reason I started this entire thing was because I wanted slash needed to get my ass in shape. For those of you who do not know, not too long ago I was 160 pounds. Right now I currently am sitting at around 135, some days 137, depending on how I eat, is where I'm sitting at. I just started to get back into the working out lifestyle. I got really complacent. I got really happy. You know what happens when you lose a few pounds? You're like, oh my God, I'm so fucking cute right now. I don't even have to do anything else. So, for about the past 4 months now, I've been eating everything, like everything in sight. There was like 2 days in there that I went on like a fucking cupcake binge. Sorry. I went on a cupcake binge and ate all the cupcakes from everywhere. And I gained, I was actually 130 pounds in December. And as of last month, I was 135 pounds, and I said, okay, you know what, Alicia, you told yourself you would never be 140 pounds again. It's time to get your ass in shape. I'm so happy. I'm literally so happy that I told myself, listen, the moment you get to 140 pounds, you're slacking. Like, I remember stepping on a scale and I was 140 pounds, and I remember stepping on the scale another time and I was 160 pounds, and I was like, oh my God, that was too fast. I'm never gonna let that happen again. So here I am, 135, 137. I'm really cutting it freaking close right now. But thank goodness for the mindset that I have right now and wanting to just not do that again, not do that anymore. So for those of you out there, let me be all PC and nice and everything. Like, weight isn't the real issue. For real, for real, for real, for real, for real. Like, weight is not the real issue. 160 pounds. I'm 5'2". I was legitimately like a circle. Well, no, I really wasn't. Like, everything was like, in the right spots or whatever. And that was probably more of a problem than being a circle, because nobody says anything to you, so you just keep going, and then they look at pictures and they're like, whoa. I never even realized that was you. Why was that a thing, and why didn't I notice? So I'm like, oh, thanks guys for being my team. Anyways, wow, sidetracked. What was I saying? Yeah, so Body by Alchemy. I need to get myself in shape. For me personally, what I started to recognize was that how I looked on the outside, my face, even now, like, my face was really smooth, really clear. This is last night's makeup, because I didn't even realize that I fell asleep in makeup, to be honest. But I started to really recognize that how I was treating myself and the way that I felt was a direct reflection of what I looked like. Everything that I was eating was lumpy, out of shape. There's like no shape to it. Not real. And everything that I was sort of ingesting and putting in my body, putting in my mind, looked exactly the way that I did. Out of shape. No system, no routine, no devotion, no dedication, no actual rhyme or reason, or there wasn't a lot of happiness. There wasn't a lot of momentum. All of the I wasn't, when you are overweight the way that I was, that's an overindulgence. I was overindulging on a lot of things. I don't have any diseases, I don't have any medical issues that made it so I was overweight. That was literally me taking in more than I was using. If we break it down, food is energy, and I was ingesting way more energy than I was using. And I feel as if when you do that, or my personal experience with that is, I started to feel less confident about myself. And I don't think that my confidence was correlated with the fact that I looked the way that I did, but the fact that I wasn't using what I had. I wasn't maximizing what I had, all of the tools that I was surrounded by. I was not using the tools I was surrounded. Food is a tool. Food for me is a tool. Food for me, real food, is the thing that's going to help you sustain you. It's the thing that changes your DNA. It's the thing that fuels your cells, your organs, your everything. Food is one of the main sources of health, and everything that I was eating was unhealthy. So there was no reason for me to be in a place in my mind that made me feel healthy with what I was doing. It just doesn't add up. You know, people say it all the time, you eat crap, you feel like crap. That's just the thing that makes the most sense, right? So I just really started to recognize that I looked like what I was doing to myself. And I did things like, you know, when you do things like you try to be confident with quotes and telling yourself things every day. And you know what? That is beautiful and powerful. And it's something that I think people should really incorporate into their lives. You know, wherever you're looking, putting little reminders around the place, on your mirror, on your fridge, or, you know, in your agenda, whatever it is that you look at on a regular basis. It's really good to have those reminders around. However, those reminders around and that meditation and, you know, that attracting things, it made me feel incredible for a moment. It fueled me for a moment. It changed my life as much as it could. However, there were some missing pieces for me personally. And those missing pieces was the momentum I wasn't utilizing. I wasn't allowing myself to get up and move and enjoy movement and growing in that movement. There's something really spectacular about telling yourself that you need to live a healthy lifestyle. And if you're telling yourself that you need to live a healthy lifestyle, being sedentary is not healthy. We're all vibrational beings. We're all energy. Everything around us is energy. That means that nothing that we know of is sedentary. Nothing thrives. There's nothing out there that thrives or survives by being sedentary. And if we're sedentary, then we're doing the opposite of surviving and thriving. So that one piece was missing for me. And the spectacular thing about when you start to implement movement into, you know, your attraction, is you start to unlock certain things mentally. It's like this. And I'm going to say a treadmill because I did start on a treadmill. It was setting that intention that I'm going to get on the treadmill for a certain amount of time. And then it was the constant making the decision to get onto the treadmill and to not get off until my goal has been met. Now, I didn't always hit that, but there was so much power in setting that intention, setting that goal, getting on the treadmill, doing it for a bit, maybe getting off and failing, or staying on and sticking to it in every moment that your past life of not being healthy told me to get off of the treadmill before the time was up for whatever reason I created for myself. And I decided to quiet that down and stick to it constantly, not only constantly while on the treadmill, but constantly day to day, and constantly day to day on the treadmill, unlocked so many boundaries and limitations that I set for myself, not only in that setting, but everywhere else. Of course, that's so incredibly powerful. So I say that to say this, and linking it to alchemy, me transforming my body, I've decided to take on the alchemical process, the alchemical formulas. And there's basically 7 steps. And the first one is calcination. And it's interesting because calcination is all about the burning up of a substance or a metal. Like we know what alchemy is thought to be is basically turning base metals into gold. Now, the first step of doing that is heating a substance, either over a crucible or an open flame, or using a naturally occurring substance called vitriol or sulfuric acid. Now, what that does is it burns up a substance until all that's left is ash. And alchemists also regarded this physically and spiritually as ourselves being rid of our ego. And it's burning away of the ego and letting go of the material aspects of our being that we are so attached to. And the more that I looked at that, and the more that I recognized exactly what that is every time I was on the treadmill, I was letting go of pieces of myself that I was before. I was the person that was sedentary. And every time that I told myself, no, stick to it, or yes, you deserve this, stick to it, I was letting go pieces of myself. And every moment that I decided to get on the treadmill, I was facing failure in a way. Some of the times that I decided not to be healthy was because I felt like I already failed. I felt like I'm not doing it today because I have already failed, or I am going to fail on the treadmill. So every time that I decided to get on there, every time that I picked up the pace and I started to burn the sweat and I started to shed my overindulgence and I started to no longer be attracted to putting things into my body that made, like, I started to feel the difference of what I know that I can feel and what I've been allowing myself to feel. And every moment that I decided to make a better life for myself and create this lifestyle for myself, I let go of all of the things. Like I was attached to the status of, I was literally attached to the status of being able to go out drinking with my friends and going to the bar and drinking with my friends, and what it meant if I wasn't a part of that, you know. And then finding new ways and new routes. I can go out with my friends and I can have fun with my people and I can do all of these things, but I can do all of these things